What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Person. My name is Chris. That's Mike.
What's up?
Westworld. This is the season 3 finale, Crisis Theory, episode 8. What'd you think? It was a good episode. You liked it?
Yeah,
Confusing?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed. What's that?
Confusing?
I don't think it's necessarily was confusing. You definitely have to focus. I definitely focus when I watch these episodes.
Because we had some people, we did a couple polls, and we had some people that say it was confusing. So I put a poll out there again on Facebook and YouTube, and I said, what'd you guys think of the season 3 finale? I said, you liked it, you loved it, or you didn't like it. Actually, I said loved it, didn't like it, or I said you liked it, but it was confusing. So over on Facebook, we have most people saying that they loved it. Some people said they liked it, but it was confusing. And I don't think anyone said they didn't like it. That's over on Facebook. On the YouTube, 71% said they loved it. 14% said they didn't like it, and then 14% also said they liked it, but it was confusing. So 71% overall, everyone loved it. Some people thought it was confusing. Now, so confusing is one thing. There was a little bit of confusion in there, here and there, I think.
But that's what anything that I'm possibly confused about is the questions that I have going further now. Going forth after watching the episode, like what's going to happen with certain characters and things like that. So, I think we pretty much figured out what happened throughout the episode. So I don't think there's necessarily anything for me personally.
Yeah, well, I will tell you this. I did like it. I loved it. I thought it was a really good episode. However, there were some disjoint. I think some of it was a little disjointed. Some of it was a little unclear. I don't know. I feel like a little bit at the end, some of the stuff with Dolores, underneath Rehoboam, was a little. It was a little. I think it could have been a little bit clear.
Yeah, I watched that scene where she was kind of like downloaded into Rehoboam, and I watched the final scene at the end after the credits with William. I watched that again because sometimes you don't hear exactly what they're saying, right? So it's like, what the hell did she just say? So like, I went through and watched like a couple of the major scenes again.
Yeah, right.
That I had a couple questions about. Yeah, maybe that's what people were confused about also. So I don't know.
Yeah,
you want to get into...
Let's do it. Well, yeah, we'll finish off with the rest of our thoughts later, but let's get into it. So we definitely got some questions. Obviously, everybody wants to know, including Nat and Chris, want to know.
Yeah, we got a lot of these questions.
Will Dolores, what will happen to Dolores? Will she be rebuilt? Will she come back? Is this the last time we're going to see Dolores? Okay. Yeah. Here's what... We don't even need to even answer this because the creators, Nolan and Lisa Joy, they've said already, or the producers, other people, many people from the show have already said that pretty much that's the end of Dolores, not of that specific character now. Now, Evan Rachel Wood, they want to have her back. They're going to have her back. They just can't say how yet, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for Dolores. That's her arc. Dolores is done. Yeah. As we know her, that specific Dolores.
Yeah, we got some cool information too. Dolores even says that, I was the one that worked. So we kind of got some information out there.
She's like the mother of all hosts, right? They copied her code and tweaked the algorithm, the coding for each person's personality, and then just put them in a different.
But essentially,
she's
obviously. Every. We still have Dolores in Charlotte technically, but that's not who we're talking. We're talking about different Dolores.
It's yes, Dolores Abernathy.
Yeah, they said that it was really Sirach's fault because you put her. Maeve says you put her mind into the machine.
Yeah, like he didn't think that would happen. Of course she wanted that. Yeah, that's what she wanted the whole time.
At first, I'm like, oh shit! Now Dolores is going to be Rehoboam.
Yeah,
and she, you know what I mean? But her whole plan was really to destroy that because she wanted people to have free will, so she wouldn't be in Rehoboam because that wouldn't make sense. She's not here to control everybody. And then at the end, they said that Caleb erased Rehoboam.
Right. Well, he made Rehoboam do it himself.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever was downloaded from Dolores that Dolores is essentially erased, right?
Well, okay. So what happened was yes, they wiped her out.
Yeah,
Serac wiped her out.
Yeah,
and on her deathbed, she connected with Maeve and told her all this stuff. Also,
and Dolores disappeared from the Maeve Dolores
from
dialogue from that scene that scene of in the woods and the tree.
Also, I wanted to say that you were actually right, because you're right about
with the Caleb.
You were absolutely right. Yeah, she absolutely chose him, and we actually got to see that, which was really interesting. We actually saw the Japanese woman with her.
That was a great scene.
I saw people being like, why'd they put her in that world? Because it worked, and they had multiple copies of her. And so why not put the blonde in there with the Japanese woman and this and that? They just did it because they just did it. You know what I mean?
Well, that was smart.
They were testing.
Put a scene in there that
testing. That World 5, they called it. We don't know.
Park 5.
Park 5. One could assume that was before they got. They were doing military testing before they put it open. They opened the park to wealthy customers. So they could have been doing military. That's how they probably funded opening a park for customers, by having the military come in and train.
The military.
That's my take on it. Yeah. I think that's why it was the same one. She remembered him. That's why it was the same. Yeah. And then Dolores went into the park as a...
Well, I don't think that could be. The timeline wouldn't make sense because Caleb is much younger than William. William's been going to the park way before Caleb was born.
So there's a plot hole. All right, it's a little bit of a plot hole. All right.
Yeah, I just think that was... I don't necessarily think Dolores, they yanked her out because she was a pretty blonde or anything. I think the writers put her in to make a connection, because it wouldn't really make sense for them to yank one of the main characters out of the host park, Dolores.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So they just put that in there to make a connection between her.
So that's a little weak. Then that's a little bit weak, because now you're just doing it just to make that connection. But whatever.
I like that. I mean, I
don't get me wrong. I liked it, but when you really think about it, anyway. Yeah. So it was really good. We got to see. We got to see a bunch. We saw Lawrence again. Mm-hmm. Which was pretty cool.
By Dolores, yeah.
Just like we got to see a couple of the other people that were, they just kind of popped them in for the season.
Yeah.
So, so speaking of which, staying along the main plot points, what's next? We got another question.
I mean, we have kind of a two-parter for this. Chris has the second part. What's Charlotte and William's plan now? We see at the final credit scene, we see the Dubai Delos plant where Charlotte Dolores.
That was fantastic. That was so well done. I loved it. It's a host army, man.
Right? We kind of got the answer to that question.
Listen, man, I love the fact that that's a good turn. It's a real good turn. It's a good turn. You had Dolores was just like, she was the family one, and then all of a sudden now so it turns out Dolores really had as a turn on both. It was a complete 180 for both characters, where Dolores turns out, no, she was fighting for humanity. Yeah. And now you have Hale not. Now Hale is what we thought, what everybody thought, even Serac thought, which is fantastic. I loved it. So what's next, man? There's your next Robot Uprising. Robot Uprising.
Yeah. I know. I think people were making comparisons to Future World.
Yep, that's what happens.
I haven't seen. Did you see?
We didn't see it because we did a watch of the original Westworld before season 1 of this started.
Maybe we can do that. Did you ever watch it? Did you ever watch Future World?
No, you know what? We meant to do it and we didn't. So why don't we do that in the interim? Yeah. Well, Mike and I will watch. We'll watch Future World. We'll do a video on it. Yeah, it's fine. But that's cool. A good idea. That's fun. We could do that. So I don't know, man. I think, that's going to be the next season. That's what's going to happen,
Yeah, I wrote down too. Charlotte says to William before his throat is slashed, because William's saying, "I'm going to save the world from you fucks," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And she says, "No, you're going to save the world for us."
Yeah.
So I thought that was
was so sick when he comes out of the shadow, man, and he's just like, she's like, "I'm going to use the best part of you." Oh, it was so good. She's like, I know you better than you know yourself, dude. It was really good. That's where the show really
you can't
gets you.
You can't have a better general to lead a host army than host William.
Yeah.
Black Man in Black, I should say.
Yeah.
You had the second part to that.
Oh,
right?
well, so Nat also asks us, do we think will we see Clementine again? And I think the answer is yes. I think that Halores or Hale, we'll just call it Hale now. I think Hale's going to utilize. She took all the data. Don't forget, she has all the hosts. She has all the host data. She has all the minds, the personalities. She has all the host bodies, the blueprints for them. So
we could have duplicates of Maeve and stuff, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think she's gonna make. I think her army a good. I think, and it's gonna be
it's gonna be all the hosts.
But wait, check this out. Check this out. We have to talk to our buddy Sherman, because that might be a way Sherman gets to come back into the show as the sheriff character.
Very true. We have to talk to Sherman about that. Maybe we can get him on.
Because I know. But yeah, that might be a way that he gets a little cameo back in here as one of the hosts on her army.
Yeah. Yeah,
and the fact that he was a program lawman, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's cool. I mean, that's definitely a cool thing, because we did see all the bodies originally being destroyed. So you're right. Charlotte does have the information to rebuild all the hosts that we've seen.
So yeah, my answer to that. What do you think? I think
I definitely think that. I mean, that makes sense. But like I said, there would be doubles of the few hosts that were left. There would be.
Well, who's left now? I mean, there's not many left.
Well, we didn't see the end of Clementine and what was the other woman?
That's right, and they're working for Dolores.
So we don't necessarily know.
Is that her name? Oh God, I forget her name.
It's Hana Royo. I'm sorry.
I know.
Completely murdering that, but yeah. So, like I said, I mean, maybe. Well, I'm sure we'll see them.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see them again. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. All right, so let's go to a very interesting part. This is a cool question. Now that Bernard woke up and he had the dust and everything on there, so obviously he was in this hotel room in this motel for a long time. From downloading that.
So we know Bernard.
The database.
We know she gave the Sublime to Bernard because she couldn't trust herself, which is amazing.
What's his next move?
What's he gonna do next? So, all right. So I was thinking about this. There's three parts.
John T.
John T. Thank you, John. So there's 3 parts to next season. Next season has it's a 3-part, 3-tiered story thing.
This is your idea.
This is me. Yeah, this is what I was thinking. So you have Hale, okay, and Man in Black, right? It's not William. It's Man in Black. That's the whole point, right? Then you have Bernard. And what he knows, he says, I'm going into the Sublime, leaving Stubbs, and we'll get to Stubbs in a second. But leaving Stubbs, right? He says, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to try and get answers and figure out what to do next, basically. And then we have Caleb and Maeve, which we'll get to. But those, to me, are the 3 pillars of what next season will be built on. Now, for Bernard, man, what do you think? But so what do you think?
Bernard is he's probably
he's gonna be the outlier. He's gonna be the one that's gonna try and connect it all, and right? I think
he's gonna end up connecting with Maeve at some point, because who really wants to go to the Sublime the most? And she does say at the end of the episode, I'll see my daughter again,
but not today.
So, dude, I'm assuming that somehow they'll connect again. And potentially lead an army themselves against. I mean, there's got to be a conflict.
There's going to be robot on robot action.
Yeah. So will they build their own? Will they get Dolores back that way?
Will they somehow pull the souls from the Sublime and put them into hosts and have them? You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was it's when Bernard initially put the headpiece on.
Yeah,
his eyes, you saw a bluish light, and his eyes were just he was enamored by what he was seeing.
Yeah.
And then he just clunks his head down.
I liked how Stubbs kind of leaned out to look to see what what the hell is he looking at?
I thought that big thing was gonna come. Oh, the
opening
forge. Yeah,
the tear. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. So we have Nat also wanted to know, what do you think would happen to Stubbs? She's will he live? She was upset to see the Aussie get it, which I thought was funny. I know you don't want to see him get it. Stubbs has actually been one of my favorite characters this season. He's had a minor role, but I really like him. I really enjoy Luke Hemsworth. I think he's really good in the role.
A little weird myself, the whole Stubbs thing.
Why?
Because for a second there I questioned, like, is he really a robot? Which we know, like, he is. Why do the host, they can get shot and it's okay? Like, Maeve got shot up in the chest and
because she's more aware than Stubbs. Stubbs still has that I can be hurt.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I'm hurt.
Okay. Because I'm thinking sometimes it's like Dolores will fall down, she lands 10 feet on the ground, and she's like, oh. And then other time, like, just the way that.
But don't forget, his body. Here's the problem. Stubbs was fine, really, except the body.
Put him in an ice bath.
The body, because the body, the tissue was going necrotic. He's like, you're gonna leave me here to go necrotic, huh? Meaning the body's gonna break down. That was the problem.
That's the problem.
Because so.
Similar to some degree as soft as us, like,
well,
as
the
far
tissue.
as.
All right, hold on. We need to talk about that. We need to go back to Dolores' robot body. But before we go there, I just want to say, before we get out of Bernard area territory, one of the best scenes I think they've ever done, and that they've ever done with Bernard, is when he finally lets go of his son Charlie by speaking to Arnold's wife.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was absolutely amazing. They both did wonderful in that scene. I freaking love that scene.
And she called him Arnold.
She called him Arnold because she knew, obviously, right? So she's losing. She's Alzheimer's, whatever the case, and
dementia or something.
She has this moment of lucidity, and she spoke to him and says, "You just let him go." And I'm sorry, don't let him go. Keep him with you, as opposed to letting him go, which is amazing. And man, I teared up a bit. It was a really, really fantastic scene. So, kudos to them. They did amazing.
And that it was Dolores that did this.
Dolores, yeah. So that
Dolores sending Lawrence with the Sublime in this briefcase, like this package,
saying go do this first, because he wouldn't be able to be open-minded enough. He had to let that part of him. He had to let that go to be able to open himself up to do what he had to do in the Sublime. Going back to Dolores real quick, when Caleb takes her out of that case, dude, some of the sickest stuff that they ever put in that show. Having that body and putting the skin on, like, I loved it, man. It's so good, man. This was such a fun episode. We got to see some really cool stuff. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it.
Again, and the acting is fantastic. That's why I definitely think that we'll see Evan Rachel Wood back again.
Oh no, we absolutely, and we're going to see Stubbs. Stubbs is going to be back. Don't worry about it.
I mean, because
he almost died once.
We saw all that dust, man. I mean, could Bernard bring him back and rebuild his body?
I think he's fine. Remember, he shot himself in the neck or the head when he first met him in the beginning of the season, and he was alive. So I think he'll be fine.
But he was sitting there for a long time, unless he fixed himself.
So was Stubbs though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
In the beginning of the season,
maybe Stubbs somehow fixed himself, or he had to have been sitting there for.
That was a long
couple years. Like, he had a lot. It wasn't like a little bit of dust.
No, that was like
years of dust.
That was dirt from the world. You don't know. Maybe a window's broken, and that was the sand from outside. Like, that wasn't just dust, dude. That was dirt. That was dirt.
Well, the world is crumbling behind.
But hold on. Listen. That's a time jump. We don't know what happened. So let's go to our next question, because this is where this is where it goes from.
All right. So what will Maeve and Caleb do now? We see them in that final scene with the two of them overlooking the city being destroyed and the flames coming from buildings and things. So
that's from Phil R. Thanks, Phil.
I'm sorry, Phil.
So, dude,
crazy.
What will they do next?
And then they're playing like the Dark Side of the Moon.
Now hold on. I wanted to say something about that before we jump into it, dude. They never play lyrics. They played lyrics this time.
That's true.
And I was like, oh, we're playing some lyrics now. Okay, cool.
I mean, a lot of the cool music stuff. I mean, they always do cool music stuff. But
remember, it's always instrumentals or covers.
Yeah, it was a lot of the stuff, especially in the first season. We had some cool songs. I don't remember exactly which ones, but on the piano, right? And all that. So it was just like a different take. But for them to play Dark Side of the Moon and you're seeing fucking buildings explode in the background,
and
was kind of
have the lyrics play
poetic.
this time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's noticeable.
Exactly.
Anyway, so Caleb and Maeve, she's basically, guess what, dude? She's his right-hand man now. She's going to stick with him. She's going to stick with him. I think that's freaking amazing. I love it. Caleb is like thrown into this, almost like John Connor, dude. Thrown into this savior role. What will he do now? He says, I'm going to let them do it. He says, I'm going to let these people decide. But you know it's got to get...
Like, I don't want to cut you off, but now you almost seem like Dolores' plan was for him to be like the leader.
Yes.
You know,
no, that's what she said.
Yeah, but at the end, I don't necessarily think that people are good. Like, he's going to now lead this new world.
No, what's going to happen is this: people are going to lose their shit. Shit's going to go really bad, and they're going to look to someone. Like everyone does, the masses do. Yep, they look to someone, and he will be the one that they look to.
No, I like that. I like that idea
John,
too. I just was kind of
think about it. It's John Connor. The world was destroyed, and who they looked to? John Connor, because he stepped up, and little by little it grew, and all of a sudden he's the savior of the humanity. Yeah. That's what Caleb is. Caleb to me is John Connor.
And Maeve says
Terminator.
Maeve says, in this world you can be whoever the fuck you want.
Right.
So
there you go. That's
what I think. If he chooses to do that, if he doesn't choose, if he chooses to be a part of the crime, which I don't think so. But
no. He says, I'm going to let them decide. And he made the choice himself as well. He could have let Rehoboam do what he did. She said, you have to make the choice. He chose to destroy that thing. And now, so that's what he chose. Humanity is what he did. Yeah. So going back to what I was saying now, the fact that he's sitting in there, don't forget that was out in California, dude. It's like, I feel like what happened was years later, that's not regular dust. That's dirt. That means a broken window. I bet you in next season, when it pans away from him, you're going to see like the broken window, the door's open. Maybe Stubbs left the door open. And now the stuff came in. All I'm saying is that the world's going to be probably different, which is going to be awesome. So
it's true. That'll be great for the viewers to see how, especially if there is a significant time jump, to see what happened to the world in.
I think I think it's going to go back and forth. We're probably going to see the present, and then the in between. Yeah. We'll see everything from
they're notorious. For
that, the present, the in between, and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I have a quick question too. Do you think Sirach is dead?
Yes.
You think he just bled out up there?
I think they wouldn't let him live. I don't think they'd let him live. Why would they let him live? Yeah. I could be wrong, but who the hell knows?
I mean, in TV and movie, if you never see the person die...
That's true. So there's a good question. Is he dead? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about all this? I think we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we can end this one. I mean, it was
great. You know what?
The finale of the show.
It was
was great.
It was fun. I liked talking about it with you. It was a good, because I hadn't spoken to anyone yet. Usually... I'll talk with you a little bit or my brother before we actually sit and record, and I get to collect my thoughts. But no, listen, it was good. It was a good finale. I really enjoy where it's at. It sucks that it's going to probably be about 2 years until we get the next one.
That's the worst part. Yeah, that's the worst part.
So I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, we're getting through this crisis, and little by little, I think the world is going to hopefully come back to normal a bit. We'll see
hopefully it'll make things better. Hopefully people will start working together more, and this will make the world see, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, and a lot of the posts that I've seen is how green, the world is.
Oh my God, yeah,
a lot of these. So maybe that'll kind of enlighten a lot of new non-green people to start thinking that way, because we've seen in such a couple months how like impact how the world can
this is
can
why
change
dude
a bit.
This is why when in apocalypse stories, right, this is why in apocalypse stories, when humanity goes away, Earth takes itself back. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, I agree. So again, it's a little off topic, but I mean, for Westworld, but it's not off topic for what's going on in reality. So anyway, finale, guys, write in the comment section below. Let us know maybe your answers to some of these questions that we got. We appreciate everybody that submitted them.
Yep.
Is The Rock alive? You guys can also put that in the comment section if you think he is or he's not, or something that we maybe missed. Again, like Chris said, it's going to be a while before we see Westworld season 4 again, but it has been picked up. So I'm excited. I know Chris will be excited to do this again in the future.
Yep.
We're not necessarily covering anything specific right now as far as shows because of the scheduling with everything. We were going to do The World Beyond, right? We were going to do...
Yeah, we were going to continue The Walking Dead. So Fear's not coming back until the fall, winter. Yeah. Walking Dead, they're doing like a movie for the finale. It's going to be like a whatever. And then World Beyond is still TBD. So the Walking Dead stuff we'll figure out. Mike and I...
Yeah, we have the finale episode of season... what was it?
That's what
10, right?
Season 10's finale. They don't know when, but it's going to be like a movie.
Probably within the next month or two, I'm assuming we'll probably see that, hopefully. So in between, we'll see what's going on. Next month, we have Nosferatu.
In June is Nosferatu, yeah.
In June. So that'll probably be the next time we're back, unless we do some kind of...
Well, let's do Future World. We'll probably try and get Future World done soon. We'll get that watched and do a little video on that. We'll check out Future World. And so if anything, we'll see that. If there's something else that you guys would like us to watch, what the thing is, there are all these new shows happening still and everything, but some of them, I like and that Mike doesn't, or vice versa. So we're not going to do a show that we're both not into.
Yeah, we can figure something out. We'll be doing a bunch of dialogue with each other, even though we might not be putting stuff out.
If you guys have any suggestions or whatever, let us know if there's anything that you think that we'd like or that you'd like us to cover. Let us know. We'll talk about it.
That's right. And if you haven't watched, though, quickly, if you haven't watched Nosferatu, it's a great show. It's only been the one season. Yeah, catch up now. Because within the next month, we're going to be getting at that again, and I'm excited for that because it's a really good show. It's on AMC, so check that stuff out.
Check it out.
Thank you guys.
But we also, with Nosferatu, we have a whole playlist. We did all last season, plus we interviewed the special effects, John Bruno. Yeah. He's a special effects legend who did movies like, Ghostbusters, Aliens, just tons of really awesome stuff. True Lies and stuff. So he's a special effects master, and he works on Nosferatu. So go check that out. Check out our reviews. Go watch the show. It's a really fun show. It's a really good show. Go read the book in the interim. It's a fantastic book. It's I can't wait for the next season, for the next part of the book. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I enjoy it really a lot. What? Anyway, go ahead.
Guys.
All right, thanks for watching.
That's it. Third person pod on all the social media outlets. Check us out. We'll be posting stuff up there, and you'll know exactly what we're going to be putting out in the future. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with us for Westworld season 3. This season was awesome, and we appreciate you guys. So thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.